talk about this. I guess we can call it a meme, an infographic that I saw circulating on Twitter by, just put it nicely, some blue-pilled normie young woman. Now, this woman, I'm totally assuming right now, and the reason why I'm talking low is because it's like 5:30 in the morning and I don't want to wake anyone up. I got a young boy and a wife that are sleeping soundly. So, check this out. I'm not sure what some of these are. Operation Mockingbird, I believe that is like the CIA like putting assets in like the TV world to like put out propaganda. NSA mass surveillance, things that actually happen. Okay, so this is like basically a conspiracy theory like chart that like this person like uses to like keep you grounded in reality. But what's funny is a lot of this is from blue-pilled normies, and I think they basically believe usually that the government is doing their best to help humanity, and that it's necessary because humans are just animals that will do the most savage things possible, and like they need to be put in check, like they need a big daddy. FBI spied on John Lennon, MK Ultra, Bohemian Club, things that actually happened. So this is like the conspiracies that they think are like real. Big Tobacco lied about cancer. Yeah, this is just like super duh. And so they have speculation line. Princess Diana, I don't know about. Area 15 is a real thing. Now, we have questions. So like this is like stuff that I guess they don't know about, but like I guess UFOs and Roswell are on here now, just because recently UFOs have like entered the mainstream again. Epstein didn't kill himself. This is pretty big in my opinion for mainstream normies to actually consider this, because like Pizzagate is 100% real, and like I'm not gonna make a video about that, but like man, the evidence is very overwhelming. Leaving reality. Unequivocally false, but mostly harmless. I'm not too familiar with like cryptids. Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, I'm not sure about. I do know alien abductions is something that is entirely possible. Greta Thunberg is a time traveler. I don't know what any of this. Some of these things are like really weird. Avril Lavigne replaced. Now, I do believe that the elites have the technology to actually do like what this conspiracy is like claiming, that they can build clones and replace people. But I don't really know that much about Avril Lavigne and her being replaced, and frankly do not care too much about that. Aliens built Stonehenge. Entirely possible, honestly. Like if you research the human history, like look up the works of Lord Pi, he goes into great depth on how human evolution is not at all compatible, based on the evidence like empirically provided, like by doing sound research, that there is a lot of inconsistencies with like human evolution, and it's likely that we are genetic experiments like spliced with an indigenous hominoid race that lived on this planet, and that DNA splicing was most likely done by extraterrestrials, non-human intelligent life, which was what the Bible would call like God created humanity. But it's much more complicated and nuanced than that, obviously. Crop circles, unequivocally false. Crop circles are real. So are they saying that all crop circles are made by humans? I find that highly like doubtful and non-logical, because some of these crop circles have very non-human properties, and I think people like the idea of aliens and non-human intelligence, I think freaks most people out, so they'll go into like a childlike psychological mindset or they just can't follow evidence that takes them outside of their paradigm. It's like they don't want to believe in these bigger realities because it scares them. That's one of my theories on why some people are just so resistant to like anything that like points to, for lack of a better word, supernatural or the paranormal. Science denial, dangerous to yourself and others. Oh my god, this is like, man, the elites in power probably love this woman. They're like, yes, keep, covering our shit up. Anti-vaxxers, I've known so many people that have had adverse reactions to vaccines. There is a very legitimate reason to be anti-vax. So this is just like government propaganda. Like, the woman that made this probably loves Joe Biden, endorses pedophiles all day. Soy boys, I guess they're talking about how like soy makes you kind of feminine. I wouldn't be surprised if that's true because there's estrogen in soy, and soy is very GMO'd, but I don't really know much about this. COVID-19 made in the lab. I haven't researched this much, but like, I would not be surprised. COVID-19 is very, like, the whole thing is like a perceived crisis. This whole lockdown thing is ridiculous. COVID-19 may not even be like a real virus. It could be like an exosome, which is like a toxin that is being produced by outside environments. There was this great video by Zach Bush that's been like deleted where he talks about like viruses being a packets of information. Such a shame that this stuff is deleted. Why is the government like deleting all this like anti COVID-19 stuff? It's pretty weird. Dinosaurs didn't exist. This is some weird shit, probably some false misinformation, conspiracy theory to make people seem weird. Chemtrails, holy fucking shit. Chemtrails are definitely real. And there's been like airplane pilots like confirming this. So many people have confirmed this. Like, the science of like contrails totally contradicts this. Like, this is just like silliness. Essential oils cure an illness. There's a lot of evidence that essential oils can cure certain ailments. This is like some Jacqueline Glenn like level like logic right here. And it's very vague on what that means. There's certain things essential oils can't do, and there's certain things they can do. So this is just like some weird shit. Governments made diseases. Well, there's evidence to suggest that governments did create AIDS. I haven't looked too much into that, but I would not be surprised. 5G is definitely not good for you. They're like, just the way it like magnetizes, and it's like a microwave. Like, do you think it's good to put your head in a microwave? I'm sure there's some overblown stuff about 5G. Like, some people think it causes COVID. That's probably another psyop to make conspiracy theory people seem weird. Never heard of this thing. Global warming is a hoax. This is a very complicated subject. Basically, global warming isn't a hoax, but what is most likely a hoax is that humans are causing it. Earth changes. Just, that's a natural thing. Earth is changing. We've gone through ice ages, hot ages, and I think this whole global warming is a hoax. Was built by the elite to balkanize like the left and the right, so they're fighting each other and not really like agreeing on what is actually true. Yes, global warming is happening. It's not caused by humans. And then the extra added nuance that people probably don't think about is that fossil fuel, by the way, even calling it fossil fuel is like misleading. It's more like calling it like the blood of the planet, but that's a whole other topic that I don't want to like go into the weeds about. So we're just going to call it fossil fuel. Burning fossil fuel is not good for the environment. So like, a lot of stuff we do is not good for the environment. But is it like killing the earth? I don't know. Are we running out of oil? I don't think so. Is global warming a hoax? It's not a hoax, but I highly doubt it's being caused by humans. Saying that while realizing that burning fossil fuel is not good for the environment. Jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams. This is a 9/11 thing. Okay. 9/11 is a very interesting topic. There's like building 7, and there's even other buildings that like fell that didn't make sense. The Pentagon, like a plane like flying perfectly like low like this, like solo to the ground and hitting it perfectly like a missile. Like there's so many questions, and the fact that this is on here, science denial. This is like approaching like religion level of rejection, because this poor woman, whatever her name is, Abby Sizers, is just like believes in daddy government, probably has daddy issues. Honestly, the anti-Semitic point of no return. World ruled by supreme shadow elites. Once you usually believe most, get help. Like, this is some crazy shit. QAnon's complicated. I used to be super into QAnon, but I now believe that QAnon is like a right-wing psyop designed to filter in people that are waking up and potentially like have the truth into like a counter operation psyop to keep them distracted and to like not take any action because, oh, QAnon's going to save us all. Deep State, 100% real. Elders of Zion, I don't really know much about this, but something I should look in. Celebrities moisturize with children's foreskin. This is like a really like inflammatory like way of saying that like a lot there are celebs that will moisturize with like the blood of children. The foreskin is probably just to make it sound crazy and unbelievable, even though like I'm sure there's some celebrities that do that. Flat Earth, this is definitely a psyop conspiracy theory. It's put in here to like legitimize like graphics like this. So it's like, oh, flat Earth, reptilian overlords. Oh boy. The thing is that like this is, as crazy as it sounds, likely true. And it sounds, I think the reason why it sounds crazy is because we're so used to being like apex predators and can't, like a lot of people just can't picture reality where humans aren't at the top. But like the evidence is as overwhelming as it can be, considering that like imagine like a dog like coming up with like a conspiracy theory to other dogs that like, yo, humans are like controlling us or something like that. Like I know it's a weird example, but like a being that's like more powerful and like intelligent than us, they would be able to be our overlords incredibly easy. And if like you like use all the resources and just like look around at like different religious texts and just different accounts of like military officials in like the secret space program, and it's there's a lot of questions, and I don't think that we'll ever be able to truly prove the reptilian overlords theory like with our current technology and consciousness level, because like they just operate in a plane that is like so beyond most humans that it's really like you kind of have to like have so much prerequisite occult knowledge to even like consider something like this. So it's like a hard red pill, but I believe it's true, and I'm not sure how to prove it like quickly. That's like something I have to have a conversation with, and like it's a hard, and I totally respect people that don't believe this is true, this reptilian overlords, because it's such a hard sell. But I truly believe that like reality in history will show that this is like the case. It may take 100 years, but we'll see. Follow the Right Rabbit is just an extension of QAnon. George Soros, like people thinking he's evil, he truly is. Like he will fund like Black Lives Matter riots and Antifa, and like makes money off of like demonstrations, and he does other things that are pretty evil. Like he sided with the Nazis way back in the day. But I don't know too much about him, but I just know that he funds chaos. White genocide. I don't really know much about white genocide. I think it's like another sort of right wing trap where they'll like talk about how whites are being exterminated. And I mean, honestly, I don't really know much about white genocide. It just sounds like a balkanization tactic to like divide people further. New World Order, 100% true. We live in the New World Order already. That's like going from like kings and queens rulership to like this government's like democracy style. Bill Gates microchipping, have no idea. Probably real. Holocaust denial is connected to white genocide. I don't really know much about it. Wayfair, I should probably look into that. I've heard some weird stuff about it. Don't know much about it. Mars slave colony, entirely possible, but I don't know much about it. Antifa International starting wildfires, don't know anything about it. Hollow Earth, my wife knows a lot about this. Entirely possible, but I don't know much about it. Nazis on the moon, don't know much about it. Entirely possible. Satanic cult panic, that literally did happen back in the day, the satanic panic. But I think that's like related to like, QAnon and Pizzagate. Oh, did I skip Pizzagate? Like seriously, look up Pizzagate. Like a lot of content, like mainstream like news articles will like always debunk it and like just say it's like not happening. It's very strange how they do that. Like the Comet Pizza changed their logo like shortly after Pizzagate stuff started becoming mainstream. They used to have like a logo that is like identical to like what the FBI has identified as pedophile like paraphernalia. Strange how they changed it. The Hillary Clinton emails that were released by WikiLeaks include some very strange question language that just like makes a lot of logical sense when using critical thinking with the Pizzagate and like with this new Epstein's thing stuff being revealed, like that people have been saying for years, like there's definitely like an elite pedophile ring going down, and it gets far worse, and it's somewhat connected to the reptilian overlords because these extraterrestrial intelligences like feed off of negative dense energy, and that's like related to like how the pedophile trauma is used. But there's also like psychopaths that like just like this, and they also want the adrenochrome, which is 100% true. There's anti-aging properties. It's funny that like Google is called Chrome, their browser, and then their processing chip is called Adreno. Some hiding in plain sight shit. Very strange. Obama birth certificate faked. Totally possible. Like it's I haven't looked much into it, but I would not be surprised at all. Like a lot of like social justice warriors, and I used to be one of those people. Like I don't know if I have those videos still up, but there were some videos where I said I was a social justice warrior. They just love Obama because he's black and like he talks well, and like a lot of these social justice warriors are very feminine and they just want a daddy, and he kind of daddied them. His birth certificate being fake, I don't know. Entirely possible. Moon landing fake. I think the footage was faked. The moon landing was real. There was probably ETs on the moon, and they didn't want us to see it. But I haven't looked much into it. Some little message from ruling class on children's TV, entirely possible. Like I see it like every day now. Like not on children's TV, but like lots of COVID propaganda. Like wear a mask, stay 6 feet apart. When like these people have like there's like no science to back up like a lot of these things, and like when people do cite like articles, it's like always from like government funded, so it's just like this huge overwhelming cult just has so much power that it's hard to question them. You really have to like dive deep and like look at alternative sources, which is hard. Illuminati, kind of this the reptilian overlords, Pizzagate, Satanic Panic, Adrenochrome, Hollow Earth, kind of all like go into each other, and it's they are real. Like I think the best resource to like uncovering this is looking up and listening to the information collected by Mark Passio, as he used to be part of this club and is one of the only ones that I know that's like actually defected and decided to like expose like what they do. Um, it's very interesting stuff. It's like he goes so in deep and like, and I mean, it goes so in depth about all this stuff that you kind of have to spend like a long time researching it, and that's kind of what it takes to truly understand like the tapestry and the scope of like what's really going on this planet. And most people don't have time or don't care because, like, you know, they hear reptilian overlords and like, what the fuck, that sounds crazy. Well, it sounds crazy because like they're in a paradigm built by them because of all this stuff. But like, what would the world actually look like if we were under control by psychopaths and reptilian overlords? Probably a lot like this. And until like, you know, euthogens, psychedelics, like those become more available, and like exotic technology becomes more available, like it's going to be really hard to like look at this. And I'm sure like once this is revealed, there's going to have been so many baby steps to get people ready for this that it's going to not seem crazy. I don't know how this is going to be revealed. If it will be in our lifetime, I think it'll like start with like the nicer looking ETs, like Palladian types or other human type ETs, before we get to like the weirder shit. But like reality is totally capable of producing weird shit. Just look at like undersea creatures, spiders. Like it's, I mean, guys, like it's, I don't even. It's not really worth it. Like trying to convince people of stuff like this. I feel like because you know you just gotta like read um, the evidence, which is like hard because a lot of it's channeled, and like you have to like interpolate like passages from the Bible combined with the knowledge that like um where is it in here? Um I guess they don't have it, that like, you know, humans were are yeah, they don't have it. That humans are like hybrids of ET DNA and like human hominid, I mean not human hominid, earth hominid, like natural species. What's that called? Like the ancient astronauts theory. Look into the work of Lord Pi. Anyway, like this was just kind of a cathartic video I wanted to make because I think this is very interesting, like how this cult just like has people by the fucking balls. They usually have women because women are just, because they've been beaten down so much by this cult, they're more susceptible to like this blue pilling, and they usually fall more on the left side of the political spectrum. And it's not just women; it's like people that have that feminine, like mommy, like toxic energy. People on like the right, like the red side of things, are usually more of the masculine types, and they'll fall into like this QAnon, white genocide, Holocaust denial like stuff that's more masculine. And like they're waking up because it's like they know some stuff, but you know, these fucking reptilian overlords and Illuminati, they have super high intelligence and they know how to control people because they have occult knowledge. Here's the main deal. If you do not have occult knowledge, which is knowledge of psychology and knowledge of laws of physics that are not widely known, like science that is just hidden from people, so it sounds like magic in the paranormal when there's actually like very logical scientific explanations for things. Like people that don't have occult knowledge, they'll think telepathy or like telekinesis is just crazy because it breaks the laws of physics, when it absolutely does not break the laws of physics. It's not, it like, to call it paranormal is even like anti-science because it's completely normal if you understand like how gravity works with like magnetism, how like humans have like morphogenic fields, how our consciousness is not generated in our bodies but like as part of like a greater reality. A lot of people call it like God or the source, or like Star Wars calls it the Force. It's basically like a consciousness field of like intelligence that create our sense of awareness. And in different types of planes of reality, you could like draw in that energy to create anti-gravity, which is like how the UFOs work, both human and non-human. And certain humans, like bodies, have figured out a way to like utilize that those laws of physics to create like non-local movement, which we would call telekinesis. Anyway, that's the end of this video. Sorry about the watermark. Like $130 for ScreenFlow is pretty ridiculous. And I haven't been using OBS because like they don't do HD videos for some reason. Anyway, I hope this was interesting. Peace out.